It's an at or blank. And the answer to that is the SPF record, which is here. This shows all of the records that you're going to need for the server. These keys in this record are too long to put in here, that's why I've pasted them below. So your demarc record is here, DKIM is here, and the SPF record is small enough to put here. So just paste that. Again, it's a text record, at or leave it blank, default total time to live. So here's your SPF record, DKIM, and then the last text record is going to be this demarc record. Make sure you don't have any white spaces before or after what you're copying and pasting. Again, this is a text record. Instead of at or blackpoint.com as the host will be demarc with an underscore before it, and the demarc record is here. These records are base requirements to enable emails to not be rejected outright. So now we have our demarc record, our SPF record, our DKIM keys. This MX record is connected to our PTR record or our reverse DNS record that's on the server itself, and that's provided by the cloud hosting service. What I like about UpCloud is it's that simple. You just go into networking and add the reverse DNS record. Alright, now that all the records are in here, we're going to run a command. I've logged out. I logged out because I had to pause this video for a bit, so I'm going to log back in. But instead of logging in as root now, I'm going to log in as Dylan. And this is a good sign, the keys carried over. The script copies the SSH keys from the root user that we originally set up and puts them into the new sudo user. So now we're in here, we can run the boot mail command, and that will reload our mail server so that it will take the new DNS records. If you want a list of all the Springb0ard commands, type sb-help, and this will give you a list of all the commands that are in the toolkit. So let's have a look at the mail log and check to see if there's any errors. If something is messed up with the SSL encryption, it'll notify you right here when it starts up. Everything looks to be good. In order to have access to all the commands after you do the installation of the script, you will want to log out and log back in so that all of the commands that were entered into the system are available to you. One of my favorite tools in this suite is btop, but you can simply run this with bb. If I know that I'm going to be doing something else and I don't want the server to time out, I'll run btop as like an intermission program, because this will run for hours and hours. Whereas if you don't type anything into your terminal for about 2 minutes, it will freeze and then you'll have to start a new SSH session. So this allows me to keep the SSH session going while I do other tasks. This is your server's baseline statistics, so you can see the difference between this and the test I'll run in a minute. When you first start an email server, it can take about 30 minutes for the DNS records to take. What I'll do now, I will test the email server by sending an email from my iPhone, and then we'll see a little blip on the radar here. Okay, the time right now is 9:36. I'll go ahead and send this email, and then you should see something pop up on the radar there. Little tiny blip right here. If you want to see a little bit more detail, we can change this from 2000 microseconds or milliseconds to 1000. You can just click on here and then hit the minus button until you get to 1000, or we can go to 500, and I'll send another email and you can see the difference. This one will be test 938 sent. Okay, so that gives you a baseline measurement of what the server was like before. If you want to display some of these a little differently, you can type 2 to get rid of this, type 4 to get rid of that, and now you have just these two. So your display is going to be a lot bigger. Let's go ahead and send one more email. Test 939. Sending. There it goes. Okay, and if you want to go back to the preset, just type in P. It'll take you back to the way it was before. This right here is my keyboard commands show up right here. So if I hit P like a couple times, whoa, that's kind of cool. So this is preset 3. I didn't know that that was there. So there are different presets. So if you hit, these are like these cool little default presets. So preset 3, kind of interesting. Anyway, we're gonna hit Q, and that takes us out. The default for btop is btop. That's how you open it up. Q to exit. BB is a shortcut. For the menu, type in M, and that'll show you all of the different options and everything. And if you want to exit the menu, press Q. Q to exit btop. Let's go back and check the mail log and make sure that those emails came through. So as you can see already, there's spam trying to get in, but it's getting blocked. Does not take long for those spam bots to start coming at you, but the system is pretty good at automatically blocking all of those. So it shows, let's go to the top one. So here we go. A TLS connection was established from my other mail server. There's a TLS encryption, signature, key exchange from admin at FormLogic to admin at Blackpoint. Status is sent, and it's delivered to the mail directory. Now if you want to check the mail directory, you switch user, SU, and then admin prompts you for that password. Now you can type in mail and it will display your mailbox. Here are the three emails that I sent myself. Like I said, it can take 30 minutes or so for DNS records to populate with Google. I waited a little while before sending a message to this server. Now when I respond from this server, after it's been some time, those records should be in place. Otherwise, you'll get, in your mail log, you'll see Google will block it based on missing PTR record. If we want to view these, we're going to hit enter, and that shows or displays the first email. And this shows you all the stuff that you don't see in a normal email. You can hit the down arrow to skip through it, and then we'll see the content of the email itself down here. This is essentially the email, and all this stuff up here is the header stuff that you don't usually see. If we want to reply, we can just type in R or reply, press enter, and then to send it, you hit Control D. We'll go ahead and hit Q to return. Type in mail again. If it gets blocked, you'll see a return to sender, but we don't see that, so this is a good sign. This last one here is essentially our outbox, our reply message. I'll check again to see if there's any return to sender. No, looks good. I'll demonstrate again. Last time I typed in reply, but you can just type in R. It does the same thing. So Control D sends it, hit Q to exit, type mail to see if there's anything resent. We see both of our replies. Hit Q again to return. Now this user doesn't have access at this time to all the shortcut commands. So if you type in BB, it will not work, but if you type in BTOP, it will work. So this will give you the ability to do a little intermission so your terminal doesn't time out where you go to check your email. I generated the emails from this account, so we can check to see if the replies came through. Let's check the spam filter. Alright, so we can see that the mails indeed come through. There's verification that the email server is working. One more little demo I'd like to do before we leave. Type in cron tab. You do cron tab L, it will list the cron tab settings. This one updates Springb0ard every 3 days at midnight. This one updates the operating system every 3 days. Okay, here's a cool system test I want to show you. What we're going to do is we're going to uncomment these two settings in cron tab. So instead of cron tab L to list it, we'll do cron tab E to edit. Choose option 1 for nano. So basically what you want to do is just uncomment it by deleting the little hashtag. Do Control Out or Control O to write out, Control X to exit. Then you'll see that it's installing the new cron tab. Now this cron tab settings will run, but in addition to that, if you hit BB, you'll see a cool display of the processes, and you can check to see if everything is running smoothly, because when things are running smoothly, you will see every 30 seconds there will be a blip on this radar. So I'll get rid of this area and this area over here so I can see them better. This one right here, the command is sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. So this uses the apt repository to update the operating system. Then the second one here, that's a small blip here, but a large blip here. This is pulling the repo from GitHub. What we do is we make a copy of the variables we want to keep. We delete the current version of the software and replace it with the new version of the software. I've also included a recovery utility. So if in that update process the repo gets deleted, there's a recovery command that will bring it back from the dead. So this is what we want to see. These are large because I've got it down to 500 microseconds. I think that's actually milliseconds. If we press the plus sign on the number pad, we can bring this up to 1,000. The smaller the number, the larger you'll see the effect here. And then the larger number here, the less you'll see the effect. So if we change this from 100 milliseconds to the default of 2000, these will be closer together, but they'll also be smaller. If you want to see things happening over a large period of time, you can turn this up. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly, so we can conclude this test. Set Q to exit, go back into the cron tab. Let's recomment these out. Control O to write out, Control X to exit. And now if we hit SB help, we can take a look at the log, and it will show you these things are happening every 30 seconds. System update ran, Springb0ard files update ran. That's pretty much going to conclude the demonstration for today. Over the next few weeks, I'll show you what all these other commands do.